For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the three bosses that I think are the toughest bosses you're going to come across in Dawn of Apocalypse. I guess it's not going to be tough for everyone, especially if you have the beta club. Many of these bosses can easily be dealt with actually with the with the beta club. But I don't like peace. I like problems always. So I'm going to drop my beta club for now, and I'm just going to try and be a little bit creative with my problem solving for this solo raid. And the first fight, of course, this boss, there was a time that a lot of people would tell you that boss Last Laugh Joker in Dawn of Apocalypse is even worse than the final boss Darkseid. But yeah, that's how this guy gave us problems. On my last video, I told you guys about how back then the attack and health was not shared. So you needed to do all your damage from one character. So you have to choose the very best character. Mind you, back then we didn't have the Beast Boy, we didn't have Scorpion, we didn't have any of these characters. So if you were free to play, you were in severe pains. So you were definitely fighting this boss on 3 iterations. Like you were doing some health reduction, then maybe finish with maybe Ninja Team or I don't know. But yeah, back then, and we did try our best back then. It was very bad. In fact, it got to a point I wasn't playing Dawn of Apocalypse even back then because I was like, what am I even doing? Like, I take several pips to fight just one boss. It was very terrible, guys. Anyways, that is then. This is now. We have solutions now. For this particular match, what you want to do most times is you want to make sure that the boss doesn't get to do too many specials, because especially that his special 2 is going to blind your character, and he does it in a very corny way. He will swipe back, swipe front, and do it. Or the way he does is that you won't expect that he's going to do it, and you try to hit him, he escapes, comes back, and he just shoots your character. Yeah, that happened to me in the past. It has happened to me before, so you can get lost in that sequence. To prevent that, I would say use and this is the reason I've chosen Raven and Raiden, because I will get to keep the boss's power level down, and I'm using Zatanna's puppet on my Raven. That means I can apply certain negative effects, like miss, so the boss cannot touch my character, like locking the boss's specials. Of course, the incoming damage is going to be very, very useful, which is the 5th negative effect you're going to apply on the boss. Another thing is I'm going to use Silver Banshee specifically for the purpose of sending out the what is it called now? The supporting character that tags in, that prisoner that tags in. So I would say there's some things you need to do. You'll notice I made some decision in this match using Silver Banshee to tag out the prisoner character, so that I don't get that negative effect that will remove all my buffs, and also Joker doesn't get stronger, because when I send the boss out, when I send the prisoner out, Joker doesn't get any stronger. If you kill the prisoner, you're going to lose your buff and Joker is going to get stronger. And of course, try and get some stun resistance, some resistance on your main. Raven will likely have it, but Raiden should have some resistance as well. So when you tag in, there's a good chance you don't get stunned by the boss, because you can get stunned in that match. So yeah, I guess when you have Silver Banshee to tag out the prisoner character instead of killing the prisoner character, and that means the boss doesn't get any stronger. Also, you maintain your darkness with Raven at any cost. So that I was about to kill the boss, but I didn't take any risk. I tagged in Raven. Make sure that before the prisoner tags in, and you'll see there's that meter that is on the screen. So when that meter is going, when it's about to be exhausted, just tag in your Silver Banshee ahead of time, and make sure that you have enough darkness. Once you see the meter is running out, tag in Raven, apply darkness, then tag in Silver Banshee and wait for the prisoner to tag in, and you send it back out. That's just the strategy for that match. Use your twin blade on Raiden and you are set. For this match, I don't think there's much to say. I decided to go for the metal team so that I can use my John Stewart Green Lantern as well, so that first set of negative effects doesn't really affect my character. You will notice I'm barely taking any dot damage from the boss. That's because I'm using the God Killer artifact on Batwoman the Drowned. So I'm stealing the boss's attack. All these negative effects you see is affected by the boss's attack. When you steal the boss's attack, you have reduced the damage that the hazard damage can. The damage of the hazard damage. Yeah, I guess you guys understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think Metal Team makes this fight. This is another fight that used to be really tough. Forget that I breeze through it now because now we have Batwoman is round. But yeah, this is another fight that used to be really tough. But like I said on the last match against Boss Green Lantern, we now have artifacts that can share attack and health. Back then, we did not have that, but we have that now. So the Father Box health and attack is shared by the whole team. And of course, I went further by using God Killer on Batwoman the Drown, reduce the boss's damage, and yeah, the boss just becomes a little tiny puppy or whatever it is. No longer a big dog, a big scary Rottweiler. It's just a little puppy. Anyways, the final fight. Now, this is another one that I needed to also get creative with. This is a match that I will tell you guys, if I were not recording a video, I am not going to use any other team but my Raiden and Raven. Like Raiden and Raven is turning out to be one of the most clutch teams in Injustice 2 Mobile. So I can use Raiden and Raven and use Twin Blade on Raiden. Yes, I can do that approach, and of course, Raiden will be stealing the boss's power. The boss will not get enough power to tag in that is annoying minion, and of course, Raven will use Zatanna's puppet and lock the boss's special blind, give the boss blind. So basically, the strategy you guys saw me use against Last Laugh Joker is the same strategy you can use here, but I know that we have 7 pips now. So if you have used it in that match, there's a scenario where your first pip of the day, you are using Raven and Raiden against Last Laugh Joker. Now they are gone, and you have 6 more pips, and now you are going to fight this boss. So in that case, in that unique scenario, I would say you should use Scorpion. Scorpion can satisfy everything you need in this match. It will do a huge amount of damage. You may be lucky sometimes and stun the boss. That's why I have, because the boss is stun resistance, but you can bypass, it's stun immune actually, but you can bypass that immunity with so it's not stun the boss, freeze the boss. Let me correct myself. So sometimes you may be able to freeze the boss, and that's because of the passive of Killer Frost. Yeah, and of course, to be safe, because you know when this boss does a super move, that active character is gone. To be safe, I use Zatanna's puppet also on Gold Black Adam, and I'm able to quickly steal the boss's power. Gold Black Adam is still very useful. It's one of my most used gold characters in Injustice 2 Mobile in solo raids because he works in several teams. And yeah, this is the strategy I use here, and this boss doesn't give any problem. Still enough, once the power is getting to the end, once the power bar is getting to the end, quickly tag in your Black Adam, steal the boss's power. That's it. What strategies do you guys use for these same bosses? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you on the next one.